out like I made of glass. Like I made of paper. Ooh, y'all didn't know I had that shit. Boy, I tell you, we're not just smart here, we're talented, all right? So, guys, welcome. I need to take care of a little something just real fast, right fast. I'm going to let people spill in. I'm going to let the masses spill in unto me. Oh, y'all look alike. Nah, for real, though. Welcome, everybody. We're going to do the intro while I'm off camera. Poing, poing, poing. I'm here, though. And this is the stream where you can come if you watch from the beginning. I'm labeling all the episodes. We're going to learn Swift. We're going to learn SwiftUI. Then we're going to do some app design for the real world app that I'm going to build. Get rich, baby. And then we're going to go back into learning mode, cover iOS programming, learn the platform. Then we're going to build the app. And then we're going to... I don't have another finger. 5, 6. And then we're going to get rich. Get rich or die trying. That should be a saying, you know. Sounds familiar. Now, quick little case in point. I'm going to say it because I say it every day and I'm going to keep on saying it. You know what would be really neat? And one of the reasons that I actually wanted to do this stream, you might think it was because I wanted to be famous, or I wanted to make YouTube money, or I wanted passive income, or I don't know, I'm lonely. You might think any of these things. You'd be motherfucking wrong. I actually had a genius idea. What I believe is a genius idea. Maybe not genius. I think it's efficient, and I think it's a good idea because it's one of those things, and I'm talking about doing the stream. It's one of those things where it literally cannot hurt, so why not type of thing. Kind of like, what's a good example of that? It doesn't matter. You understand. But no, my true intention here, really and truly, because I don't want to be a, like, sure, if I get popular on YouTube or whatever, that's nice. That is not what I want. My primary, that is not my focus. I want to write software. I want to be in and around challenging domains, that kind of thing. That's what I was doing for a long time. Now I want to do that in my own capacity. It's thrilling work, seriously. I'm sarcastic often, but I'm not being facetious at all. So the real motivator here, I hope that somebody comes across my videos and actually sees this as an opportunity and they learn Swift alongside me. And then I will hire that person. I will hire that person. That's first developer job. That's the hardest thing to do. Get that first job. But if you're a subscriber here, yeah, I am bribing you. But if you subscribe, keep watching the stream, we get to know each other. You like the ideas I'm putting out. You like my teaching style. I'm sure I'll like you. You could end up working for me. And I don't say that in a cocky way. I'm saying I have a plan. And if you want to be a dev and you like Swift and you like what I'm talking about, this could really and truly be a great opportunity. And so that's really my focus. I would love it if I could achieve that and do that for a single person. That would be sick. So honestly, that's probably 60% of the motivation for doing the stream in the first place. But like I said, it's one of those things where when you sit and think about it, it's like, okay, yeah, I do have to put a little more extra energy into, setting up the stream and streaming every day, and I'm being on camera and I can't just do it whenever I want. I got to do it on the stream. But that to me is, that's trivial. Because it also provides, secondarily, excuse me. Hold on. Secondarily, it provides for me a method by which I can be held accountable, because no one's making me learn this other than me, right? So in that same way, I can serve as somebody else's accountability. If they see me do it every day and all they got to do is show up, and now you have somebody to learn alongside, bounce ideas off of, blase, blase, blah. That to me is only putting good out into the world as well. Now, I'm not going to get all philosophical on you. Again, just reiterating the point that this is something that I saw no drawbacks to. So here I am. But yeah, you know, I'm a man of pragmatism. At least I like to think so. Now, worry not. We'll get started. Let me just go rinse this doohickey, and then we'll go. Get down on it. Get down on it. Pardoned. I'm going to try not to make annoying sink noises. So I hate that. What happened to this pan? Good God. Warped to hell. What happened? Gee. Might be time to retire that bad boy. But yeah, guys, hold on. I'm going to mute because I now have to run the water real quick. Hold on 1 second. Just hold on 1 second. Get your Xcode open. Don't just sit there and fucking watch. Get your Xcode open. Get it open. Get your notepad out. Get your little backpack out. Motherfucker, take notes. All right, hold on. I'll be right back. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I'm back, y'all. That's the call. Ah, assemble. Ah. Oily nerds, assemble. Ah. Oh, shiza. Yo, y'all should have seen it yesterday, man. I was so oily, and I'm not blessed genetically. Sure, I've had the occasional breakout and whatnot. You know, it's probably worse when I was, I don't know, a junior high, but I went on this Accutane treatment like, gosh, I don't know, 2017 maybe. And you know what's hilarious about, well, I don't know if it's hilarious, but it's funny now to look back and think about that experience. So I'm just talking here, but if you guys have ever thought about taking Accutane, if you don't know what Accutane is, it's for acne, or it has some It has several applications, but one common use is to treat acne, severe acne, I should say. So it's not like a cream, or it's a regimen that you go on for anywhere from 3 to, I mean, I know some people that took it for years in a low dose. So it kind of just depends on what, I mean, just listen to what the doctor tells you. I'm just saying, the shit is used to treat acne. Okay, so I was supposed to go on it for 6 months, and basically the way that it works is, if you've ever, imagine just a small glass, like how do I, that big, that tall, right? Like a drinking glass. You put some whiskey in it. Imagine you fill it up a quarter of the way. Okay? And then imagine taking some napkins like this. And you rip off 3 of them, ball it up, and you stuff it into that cup. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to absorb all that fucking moisture. It's going to dry that cup out if you put enough napkins in. We're making the assumption here 3 is enough. Okay. The point is, Accutane is the napkin. That cup is your body. And that water is all the fucking moisture in your joints and basically anywhere. And so what does that mean? Well, it sounds as terrifying as you think it is, and equally as painful. You start to hurt in places you didn't know you could hurt. You start to crack in places you didn't know you could crack. My shit was cracking on the side of my mouth like I ain't drank water in a week. And it's the really tough thing about it is you can treat the symptoms, like you can put, Carmex or you can moisturize. Nothing topical is gonna, it's only gonna bring, you can maybe alleviate the discomfort, but the whole underlying mechanism is like, or the root cause is you're literally taking it every day. That's what's drying your shit out, and you just can't, no amount of treatment or topical creams or hydration can stop this fucking drug. And it, oh my gosh, but I kid you not, I mean, literally, like, even the little lipids, the little like fat aminos that hang out and lubricate the joints, kind of like your kneecap, for example, where it would sit on the joint and move around. There's that little whatever it is, shit like that, it dries out. And so it's actually pretty terrible. If, like, I'm no athlete, but at the time when I was taking it, I've always done some like casual weightlifting and jogging, nothing too crazy. But even that became very difficult to do and painful. And the worst part about it is it's not like it's discomfort, like, oh, suffer through, power through it, baby. No, it's painful, and like, because you're literally fucking up your joints and you're knowingly doing it. So my point is, at a certain point, you're like, is it worth it? But the whole idea is, you're taking this medication, and it's permanent, by the way. So yeah, I mean, just be careful. But I did not take it for 6 months. I was good after 3, and it did not. I didn't even have bad acne. Like, I don't have a crater face or whatever. No shade. I'm just saying, it was never even like that. But I would get the occasional breakout, just like a big, like like a pimple, like right at the tip of my nose, or like point, like on, And I was dating this girl at the time, fucking bitch. But yeah, she basically told me. I say this not affectionately, because I have no affection left for this woman, but also it's not bad blood. This was a long time ago, so it's not really about that. But what she told me stuck with me in a weird kind of way, because it was something I guess, one of those things you don't want to admit, but when you hear it, you're like, okay, that didn't feel good to hear, but they're right. And so the words that she said to me, she was younger than me, and she was like, look, I need you to take care of yourself and take care of your skin. Like, I can't have a man that's always breaking out looking like this. But in her minor defense, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think it was rude. Maybe. Like, can you and should you? Because mind you, we were in a relationship at the time. Can you and should you? This is just a extra credit. Can you and should you critique your partner about things of that nature, acne? Things that are temporary, but obviously still, you do got to live with it. You got to look at them. Presumably, it's the only person you get to fuck. So, can you and should you? I think it's okay if delivered correctly. Anyway, I didn't like to hear that, but I was like, you know what? You're right. And my stepbrother had taken it when I was in high school. So I knew what it was. I mean, my ex at the time, she was just talking about treating the acne in general, in any kind of way, like just taking care of my skin. But when I heard that, I thought I know exactly what to do, because I remembered my stepbrother, and he used to have really, because I met him, what age did I meet him? He would have been 7th grade, somewhere around then, and he had really clear skin. And then all of a sudden, stereotypical kind of teenager puberty, like he had every bad symptom you can imagine. That shit went wild on his face. And he was in track, so he's always sweating and stuff. It was hard for him, And I remember he went on Accutane, and he was so sick of his acne, and he had just got this hot ass girlfriend. She would come over, she'd come up in that room and flirt with me. I said, "Where's Matt? Is Matt? Is he even here? You've been in here like an hour." No, but okay. So anyway, Betty, I hope you're doing good, baby. But no, I'm kidding, babe. If you see this, but anyway, he was dead set on suffering to get rid of that acne, because I mean, he knew he bagged a real one. And then but yeah, anyway, he won't see this, but this is common, so this is not really embarrassing. It's more like a testament. But it got so bad that he could not go number 2 without his back end bleeding. Now, if that doesn't make you want to go drink some goddamn water, I don't know what will. But man, I remember that, and I just remember him being in pain. He used to walk around with this big old bottle of fucking ibuprofen, and it was always empty. He's always just killing him, man. I can't even. This man is tough. My stepbrother is tough, but man, when he wanted to get something done, he was gonna do it, and he went, huh? Like I said, I was supposed to. I think he did it for a year, because he was a little worse off. But it eventually kills a lot of the oil-producing glands in your face, and so, well, all over your body. So be careful. Make sure you understand what you're giving up, because you are losing something. You're like nuking your body's ability to produce a number of different moisturizing agents. So talk to your doctor, guys. But I'm just saying, Accutane, if you have bad acne or if you just want to be rid of it forever, the best I can recommend is a 90-day regimen, because I guess we'll just call it mild and sporadic acne. And yeah, it works. Boy, does it work. But make sure you know what you're giving up. All right, now I just need to use my little nose. Where's my nose spray at? I sound nasally. Let me just do this and we'll go. Because I promised y'all, I promised myself, baby, I am you. We are I. I am Weasel. All right. Millennials will know. Now, yeah, I said we would be productive today, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We are gonna just slap these pages, slap them right off. Let me close that. Let me close. Man. Okay. Xcode. I'm gonna try not to touch my mouse at all today. I'm really trying to get out of the habit of doing that. Oh, so another cool thing. I'm talking here while it's opening. I got an iPad Pro yesterday. Tell me why the iPad Pro. I got a Magic Keyboard, the pencil, and the M2 12.9-inch Pro. Beautiful machine. I mean, I've had one before. I had the old one before it went, the one before the M1, and I loved it. I sold it when I went back, so I went and got it. Tell me why the iPad Pro is just as much. I think maybe $100 less than my MacBook Pro. Yeah. They got us, y'all. Yeah, they got me. Let me not speak for y'all. They got me. Totes worth it. Would do it again. All right, so now let's recap. We were looking at, what were we looking at? Oh, optionals. Looking at optionals, and that is where we will begin. Yeah, this all looks familiar. This was actually, yeah, okay, this was pretty straightforward. So this is shorthand, right? So we know that var variable, this is our variable. The colon indicates a optional type annotation. So we don't have to do this, but we can. In this case, we did. And here's our type of string. But this little question mark at the end is the shorthand instead of... Oh, hell yeah. I actually remember. I'm starting to remember things. Instead of... No, not that. Optional. Pointy stuff. More pointy stuff. So that's the equivalent of... God damn it. Of doing this right here. So that's cool. Now, let's see. What else? We talked about, oh yeah, this thingy here. This exclamation point. Take note of where we are in the code, right? So we're inside the scope of this loop here, or this if statement. And so because of the existence of the question mark at the end of line 3, the optional that we just talked about, through inference, the compiler can understand that if we're working with an optional of type string in this case, then inside the scope here, this exclamation point is going to do a force unwrap. Because remember, this is going to be an array of strings. Or sorry, not an array. Not an array. An optional. God damn it. Okay, I messed that up. It's going to be an optional type that will contain possibly a string, which is the whole point of optionals. So the idea is that you would use an optional in a situation where you may or may not get the type back that you expect. So you expect a string, or rather there are mechanisms in place to do further things. There's functionality to go forward. If you get a string back, you can work with that. But if you don't get a string back, you need to be able to report a specific error or elicit other certain behaviors if it's not a string. And that's what the optional is for. Because now think about it like stretching out into the real world. Now we're accepting input from the user. And so we have to account for things like, hey, maybe we don't always get the data type that we expect. That's in a nutshell, that's what the use case would be here. And so the exclamation point, as they described it, represents the unwrapping, which basically just means in memory it's going to go look inside that optional and grab whatever is in there, even if there is not actually a value in there. So maybe the user somehow just submitted a space Well, that would still be a string, wouldn't it? Whatever. Maybe they submitted something incorrectly. All right. You want to be able to look inside the bucket that's containing whatever they sent, whatever's in that hole. You don't know what it is. That's the point. You don't know what it is. So you got to unwrap it. You got to unwrap it and see what's in there. If there's a value, then you move forward. If it's nil, which nil, nothing, null, also known as null, then you can assign this here. So that if you look here, that's what we're saying. So the error code string is 404. And that's what we're calling here. So Command Shift Enter. And it should give us that 404. Well, down there in the console and here in the sidebar. Okay, so now that I've expertly summarized yesterday's like 2 pages, I think we did 2 pages yesterday. Now, oh shit, I'm touching the mouse. Did I have? Oh, they don't. Delete. Tab. Page up. Command. Where's my other tab? Whatever. All right, we'll move on. Okay, so then in that case, let's just hop to here. Actually, I think I skipped. No, I didn't. Okay. Optional binding. Lesson 1. Optional binding. Optional binding is a useful pattern to detect whether an optional contains a value. If there is a value, you assign it to a temporary constant or variable and make it available within a conditional's first branch of execution. If there is a value, you assign it to a temporary constant. Oh, temporary constant, which is here. Let the error. Temporary because it only exists inside the body of this if statement. So yeah, assign a temporary constant or variable and make it available within a conditional's first branch of execution. Now, what does that make it available within a conditional's first branch of execution? Like I said before, would strongly urge that you not, I mean, maybe you guys know what that means. I don't, so I'm going to go ask the Oracle. And I would strongly advise that you never skip over concepts like that. Like if it ain't resonating with you, go ask somebody or look it up, you know. This has helped me greatly, just stopping and doing these little things. Even though it does make it a long drawn out process, I think you should still do it. It's worth it. Otherwise, you're not really learning. You ain't really doing nothing. Let's see. And I don't know if that'll confuse it. Can you explain how I would? No. I want to know what piece of the syntax indicates first branch. Like what does that actually mean specifically? Be specific. Can you explain how I would identify the first branch of execution as described in the snippet below from a book teaching Swift programming? The first branch of execution mentioned in the context of optional binding in Swift refers to the block of code that is executed if the optional contains a value. So the print. But what are they? Okay. If there is a value, you assign it to a temporary constant variable and make it available within the first. Okay. That explains it. So here we are making it available, and then, yeah, this one. And so I suppose, let's see what else. I'll read this whole answer just in case somebody is not clicking with it like I am, or like I think I am. Okay. When using optional binding, you check if an optional has a value, and if it does, you can assign that value to a new variable or constant for use within a particular scope, specifically within the first branch of the conditional structure that you're working with. Here's a more detailed breakdown of how this works. Define an optional. An optional Swift, yep. Optional binding to safely access the value. You use the optional binding. Syntax and execution branches. You typically use an if let or guard let. We haven't even seen that statement for optional binding. If you're using if let, the first branch of execution is the code inside the if block. Okay. That's the specific answer I was after. So that is it. Okay. Runs the optional, doesn't if inside the if block that runs the optional does indeed have a value. Okay, yeah. Conversely, the else block, if present, would represent the alternative branch where the optional is found to be nil. Conversely, the else block. If it is found to be nil. Oh, I see. Yeah. If it's not nil, let the error be 404. Okay, so we don't have it. Okay, we're not handling nil yet. I see. Well, shouldn't allowed in any type. I forgot about that. We found that out yesterday. I should say that for anybody that's seeing this just in case, because I think it's a monumental discovery that really, frankly, it surprised me. It really did. Swift has a type any. I would not have expected that. I mean, you guys probably know, like, if you've heard, I'm sure you have, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're interested in Swift, you've researched it. You know, they call it a safe language. You hear that a lot. Safe. It's like Rust, but more ergonomic. You know, it's like Rust, but easier to write. Which it is. I mean, it's a nice language. However, calling it safe, and you have any type built into the language, that was surprising to me. It is really surprising to me. Yeah, take that for what you will, but at the end of the day, you have a way to control it. So it's not like it has any, so it's just like JavaScript. No, not even close. But I'm just saying, I'm surprised that it's there. Because clearly Swift has no issue creating all kinds of, I'll call them, what would you even call them? These kind of miniature complex systems that you have to follow, paradigms, rules, conventions, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, like that guard let that we saw, or the protocols. That's a good example. Like, these are all Swift specific things that work in a way specific to Swift. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, clearly they add lots of features to the language. So the fact that actually I'm proving the opposite point. So whatever, let's move on. If there is a value, assign it to a temporary constant or variable and make it available within a conditional first branch. This can make your code more concise while retaining its expressive nature. Here's the basic syntax. So we got a new one. If let temporary const equal and optional, else. With this syntax in hand, refactor the example above to use optional binding. Okay, so what do you want me to do? Get rid of my old implementation here. No, just do the whole thing. Okay, error string 404 if let the error. Oh, whoops. How do I get to the front of the line? It's 0? Yeah. If you don't know, I'm using Xcode obviously, and there's a Vim mode. It's kind of hard to see on the stream maybe, but there's little commands. It shows you the commands, which is awesome. This is like a really helpful way to learn Vim, so I can see the hype a little bit. Now, however, I will say this. I shouldn't say Vim. I need to pick a side. I like Vim mode in Xcode because it's the only option. If I'm going to use a modal editor outside of Xcode, I'm not using NeoVim. I tried. It's I know people like it, and that's great. If you want to take the time to set it up, that's cool. I know there's frameworks that help you do it. That's great. All I'm saying is it ain't as good, in my opinion, as Helix. It just isn't. I like Helix better. If you ain't heard of Helix, it's open source. Just Google Helix editor. It has over 30,000 stars on GitHub, so it's pretty popular. I wouldn't be worried about support or whatever. There's a lot of support around it. And they're doing things the right way. It's written in Rust. You don't have to know Rust by any stretch. I'm just saying, I don't know. That's a nicety. You know, NeoVim written in Rust. So is Helix. Super fucking fast. And check this out. Let me make it bigger. So if I cd, what's my... yeah. And let's go into V, because I know I got folders in there. Okay, so this, you can call it from the command line, of course, because it's accessed through the terminal, but so hx is the command and then dot for the current directory. And that's it. I mean, it's open. It's super fucking fast. And it's really neat. So it opens up to this view. These are folders, so I can go down the list and search, and it's showing me, you know, rendering the file on the right hand side. It does have syntax highlighting. You just don't see it here because I haven't set it up for V, but it's super simple. Oh, there it goes. Anyway, you can type, and it'll do super fast search. If I hit space, escape, space, you get this nice little picker here. I can call my file picker back. So the commands are little, whatever. This isn't about Helix. I'm just saying, just so y'all know, and y'all can go support them if you want to use a modal editor. I highly recommend it over Vim, and it's a lot simpler. It's configured out of the box. You got to do maybe one or two things, but if you're a JS developer, a web developer, or if you're on a Mac, you won't have to do anything because everything that you need, Xcode would have already installed. So, yeah, cool editor. Check it out. All right, so let me go to the end of the line here. And then I can get back to doing what I was supposed to do. The error equal error code string, yeah. If let. Oh, I thought they were talking about let inside that. Okay, so there is actually an if let. If logic, else logic, or if let. Cool, then. Cannot find. Command Shift Enter. Cool. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I think we understand that. As you can see, the syntax for optional binding is more or less the same as the syntax that creates a constant within a conditional. Where the fuck? the constant the error moves from the body of the conditional to its first line. This makes the error a temporary constant that is available within the first branch of the conditional. In other words, if there is a value within the optional, a temporary constant is made available for use in the block of code that is executed if the condition is evaluated as true. The condition being, where did it go? Wait, so where's our nil check? Did I miss that part? If let the error, if let. Oh, so this, okay, yeah, I still don't understand that. How do you, you got rid of the nil check? Oh, okay, that's what they're trying to tell me. If it evaluate, my bad. That's what they're saying. Okay, so they're showing that so long as it evaluates to true, then it's doing the same thing. So I suppose if let is representing the unwrap, just like previously where we had, you know, the exclamation point inside the scope. So more than one way to express that. Okay. Note that you could have declared the error with the var keyword if you needed to manipulate the value inside the first branch of the conditional. If var, and that's good too. Command Shift Enter. Okay. Noted. I think I'll highlight that just because this is yeah, I mean, all this is foreign to me. Go did not have a a concept of this, and a SQL damn sure does not have anything like that. Nothing that nice, so I need to remember that. And let's see. Also, you no longer forcibly unwrap the optional. Also, it's not doing it. Okay, so I misspoke. It's not a same way of representing the same thing. Because it says right here, we're not unwrapping, forcibly unwrapping. If the conversion is successful, then this operation is done for you. Okay. And the optional's value is made available if the conversion is successful. If the conversion... Oh, snap, man. I see it. Do y'all see it? I see it. That's great. Cool. So, okay, so it's saying we don't need to do a nil check because of the type inference. So if I say, if the variable, the error, equals error code string, print the error. Well, what is error code string? What is its type? It's of type string, or optional string. So it can't be nil. So if it is nil, then this would evaluate to false. Feel me? I don't know if I can demonstrate. I don't know if it lets you do it. Nil string. But I mean, this should be false. Yeah, so you print nothing. Boy, oh boy. See, I tell you, every day, this is fun. How do you not love this stuff? Now, you know, I will say this, though. One thing that's really weird, or not weird, but that I am actively trying to do in real time, and I'm just letting you guys in, and also issuing just blanket advice, I guess, but when you're understanding concepts like this, I always try to, at the very least, think of at least one real world use case, like anything that you've ever encountered where that kind of logic, you know, within the confines of a program would be helpful. And some are obvious, like, you know, this is pretty obvious because we're talking about how to handle when things go in a way that we don't expect. So we're just, you know, what do you call it? Error handling, right? So that this is kind of obvious, but if you have a specific case in mind where it would be nice to do this, because like I said, Go did not have the faculties to do something like this, at least not in this way. They do it a different way, a less elegant way, a more, it's ugly, all right? And for me, I had to do it all the time. Why? Because like in Go, if you're writing Go applications and you're not going over the network a lot, you're not going over the wire, you probably don't have to do a lot of that. But if you're using the file system or making HTTP calls, you have to, it might fail, so you have to do the error handling. That's what I mean by that. So it kind of depends on what you're writing in terms of whether or not Go is going to be painful like everyone says it is. Anybody that hasn't written Go but have heard about Go, you probably know that the error handling sucks. Or not know, I shouldn't say no. You've probably heard that from people because everyone just says shit because everybody else says it. And then everyone starts to believe it. But it's actually not that bad unless you were unfortunate like myself and the vast majority of what you do, like ETL stuff, AWS stuff, you're going over the wire, and ergo, then you're going to have to work with Go's error handling a lot. Okay, just want to get that out there. All right, so so we understand that. Suppose you wanted to convert error code string to its corresponding integer representation. You could accomplish this by nesting if-let bindings. Suppose you wanted to convert error code string to its corresponding integer representation. Oh, because we're doing 404 as a string here. I see. Okay. You could accomplish that by nesting. Okay. So what do? We are not sure yet, but we're gonna find out. Okay. So you want me to get rid of the print statement and do a get up there, boy. If let error code int equal int the error, no space. If let the error print escape character string interpolation of type oh error what am I looking at? If let error code int equal, okay, so that makes sense. I mean, that we've all kind of seen some little Excel functions that do that, you know, just convert it or cast. I was a big fan of cast. Print the error. Oh, print the error with a type of error code int. Oh, with the type. I see. And so since we're creating this on the fly, error code int, and we're saying that it's equal to the integer version of the error, then this is going to be inferred as integer. Boy, it's all sinking in all at once. I have ascended to a higher plane of existence. Okay, wait. Expect, God damn it. I will shortly be ascending to a higher plane of existence. 404. Wait, did I type that right? That doesn't seem right. Oh, that's what they got, yeah. Okay, talk to me. You now unwrap two optionals in a single line with if let the error equal error code string with if let the error. Okay, so line 6. And the error code, let error code int go into the error. Line 7. Well, I mean, it's 2 lines, but okay. You use int the error to try to convert. Yeah. Use int the error, the conversion, try to convert the error into an int. Yep. Because this results in an optional. Because this results in an optional. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. So we're just a continuation of all the inference that already is going on from the initial declaration. We understand this. Well, up to the conversion. Where did it go? Okay, yeah. You try to convert the error into an int. Because this result is an optional, you next unwrap that optional and bind its value to error code int, which is what we're doing there. So I'm going to go back to the Oracle, and I'm curious if ChatGPT is good at one thing, it's giving you explanations for standards that already exist, you know, stuff that's already documented. Legit want to just kiss it on the mouth sometimes. It gives me such good explanations, but I think that's illegal, so I won't do that. Can you explain? See, I forgot my question already, but it'll come back to me when I read this. Oh, yeah. After reading the snippet below from a programming book, I am curious if from my understanding is correct. Please tell me. It's better if you're polite. All right, it's fact. Please tell me if assignment and binding, because they're using the word bind here, right? They're saying we're binding something, but it's the same operator. So I just want to make sure that semantically we're talking about the same thing if we say assign the value or bind the value. I don't know, could be different, so we're going to ask, please tell me if assignment and binding are able to be used interchangeably, and if not, what are the distinctions to be aware of? Give me that motherfucker. Okay. In Swift programming, the terms assignment and binding are not related, but not exactly. Oh, they are related, but not exactly interchangeable. Here are the distinctions you should be aware of. Assignment. Assignment refers to the operation where a value is assigned to a variable. Right. So just like our little, or not that one necessarily, this one here. Regular old assignment operator. This could be a direct value like a number string, the result of an expression, or another variable's value. In Swift, this is usually done using the assignment operator. Example, let x equal 5. Oh, they even give me examples. I don't even gotta, man. Best 20 bucks you can spend, tell you what. Okay, so right. Okay, so binding. Binding typically occurs in the context of optionals in Swift. Okay, thank you. Man, thank you. That's all I need to know. It involves not only assigning a value to a variable, but also simultaneously checking for the existence. That's an interesting, okay, definition. But it is what it is. It involves not only assigning a value to a variable, but also simultaneously checking for the existence, i.e. non-nil status. Okay. I just, coming from the web world, you know, a bind is a lot different. It's kind of more direct in its nature. You just literally bind that value to this element. If, you know, that output changes on next refresh, you're getting the new value. So, or next render. So, okay, just something to be aware of. So then, it involves not only assigning a value to a variable, but also simultaneously checking. Oh wait, we read that. What does it say? Binding is used with if, let, or guard let. Okay, even better. So it's isolated to those use cases there. Constructs to safely unwrap optionals. This ensures that the variable inside the let is only assigned if the optional contains a value. Okay. Example from your snippet, if let. Okay, we don't need to, because we saw that. All right, key distinction, safety and checks. Binding inherently includes a check for nil and only proceeds with the assignment if the value is non-nil. Okay, that is actually the one that I want to adopt because that's great. That is fantastic. Save that one. Context of use. Assignment is a basic construct used universally in programming. Yeah. For setting and updating values. Binding is more specific to scenarios involving optional values where there is uncertainty about the presence of a value. Great explanation. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, when are they at? Oh. I will. You can't like it. You can only. Good for you, ChatGPT. Okay, so then. Right, so we felt good about that, so I'm going to move on. Okay, so if either of these bindings returns nil, then the success block of the conditional will not execute. In this case, error code string does have a value, and the error can be successfully unwrapped because the error can be converted into an integer, the 404. Optional binding can even perform additional checks that work very similarly to what you've already seen. Why do I have the hiccups? Again, optional binding can even perform additional checks that work very similarly to what you have already seen with standard if statements. Even perform additional checks. Okay. Okay, I have another question. I have another question for the Oracle, and then we'll go. But I'm curious. If there's a performance cost, because otherwise, why wouldn't I be throwing optionals every fucking where? Is there a performance cost to using optionals? There is. Of course there is. That would make sense. Yes, using optionals in Swift does come with a performance cost, although it is generally minor. The best thing about I love talking about performance is the most esoteric thing. Like, well, I shouldn't say that. There are ways to measure performance, but I would aim to say, as a person that worked in DevOps for years, 87% of the time when you're having a conversation with performance with somebody else, Y'all aren't even talking about the same thing. You're just not, especially if you're talking to a user. But yeah, it just is what it is. That is out of the scope of this stream. So memory overhead, runtime, indirect. Okay, so I guess hints back to, I guess that kind of shits on what I said at the beginning of yesterday's stream. So I should correct myself because I believe they told us anyway, somewhere it told us to use them sparingly. Yeah, it said it somewhere, but that makes a lot more sense now, right? If performance is the cost and you can achieve the same result without said performance cost, then what they said totally makes sense. And you should be aware of that and be conscious or conscientious of using them too much. You know, because if they call it a minor performance cost, but you put them everywhere, well, shit'll add up. Okay, creating. Do we move past that? Where was I? God damn it. If our. No, we got through that page. Okay, here we are. Yeah, here we are. If either of these bindings returns nailed in the success block of the conditional when I execute, in this case, error code string does have a value, and the error can be successfully unwrapped. Oh, no, we read that too. Optional binding can perform. Optional binding can even perform additional checks that work very similarly to what you've already seen with standard if statements. Yeah. Imagine that you only care about an error code if the value is 404. Imagine. Okay, so we're going to switch that back to a constant. And what did you add? Let into the error. Oh, right. Double equal sign quality operator. $sign to go to the end of the line. Capital A to insert at the end of the line. Into the error. Where is that comma at? Under 404. If let code. Oh, somehow this. How did that happen? If let the error, comma, error code int equality of value operator. So 404 print the thing. Let's see. How come I can't do that? What's wrong with this? If let the error code string. Oh. Let int the error code int, yeah. Oh, I got an extra. All right, Command Shift Enter. Okay. So we would use this. Oh, I see. Okay, so that's even better. Maybe. But maybe you want to do some special logging in the event of a particular error code. Otherwise, you can maybe just throw that shit out to dev null and you don't care about it. So this is nice. So you can, at a programmatic level, at an application level, define what you care to log That's what I mainly see this as. Yeah. Learn to love your logs. Learn to parse. Boy, learn to parse. Learn to parse. I don't care what language you choose to do it in. JavaScript is actually has good libraries for parsing. Look up OHM, OHM, if you're a visual, if you like visual tools. That's a great one. I already said it. OHM. Oh yeah, but OHM.js, or if you're in the Java space, I know they have a pretty powerful tool called Antler, ANTLR. I hear a lot about that. I've never used it personally, but I hear about that one a lot. And there's a lot of free material on that too. It does look pretty complicated, but there's a lot of material out there for that one. And then like sed and awk, you could learn. Go has some pretty good parsing. So you know, whatever it is, regex, fuck, just learn how to Python. Learn how to cut through these log files, and you'll be useful anywhere you go. So let's see. Okay, so we did that. Now what is it saying? Do not overlook the added comma in this code. Do not overlook. Okay, I didn't. Now the conditional evaluates to true. Okay, right. So it's true because we convert it here to an int, and then we say error code int is equal to 404. That evaluates to true, and since it's true, it prints. Okay. Now the conditional evaluates to true only if error code int is equal to 404, and the final clause error code int 404 is only executed if both optionals are successfully unwrapped, because the error is 404 and that string can be converted to the integer 404. All conditions are met. 404 is logged to the console. Man, see, I promise you, you will not find this quality of breakdown. Like a lot of books will give you this. They'll give you this. They'll give you the first part, kind of explaining it. They don't give you this. And that's the fucking learning. That's the understanding. At least for me. Let me speak for myself, but I'm passionate about this because I have suffered through so many goddamn shitbag tutorials, books, courses, seminars, webinars, conference talks, you name it. Explain your shit, people. If you're teaching, if you're giving a talk, I can understand that that's not what that's about. But if you're teaching and instructing, fuck, even if you're teaching yourself, give yourself this snippet. You have to have it. You need that part. That's the understanding after the fact. If you can't break it down and talk about it and explain what's going on, you don't understand it. And when you go to write it out in the real world, you're just going to be there like this, staring at a fucking blank screen. You're not going to know what to do. Or staring at code and you're not going to know how to manipulate it. And then you're really fucked. So, yeah. But good for you. I love these books. These are great. Man, they're good. Okay. Implicitly unwrapped optionals. At this point, it is worth mentioning implicitly unwrapped optionals. It is worth mentioning. Okay. Though you will not use them much until we discuss classes and class initialization later in this book. Oh, that's what I'm dreading. Go did not have classes, and I liked it. Maybe they're not so bad. I'll go into it with an open mind, but the whole concept of OOP is an unbelievable turnoff to me. But I had to suffer the consequences of OOP because that's what our in-house product was built on. I was the product manager, eventually moved into DevOps, so I got to really into the nitty-gritty, be in and around it, and I did the vast majority of the schema design. And so you really start to certain like some stuff is overblown for sure, but certain things are also very, very true. And there's a reason you hear a lot of things repeated. Now vet everything you hear, of course, take it at face value, vet it for yourself. But I can tell you, I got firsthand knowledge about this, so I know the what OOP can do to an application, especially over time as it grows. It's a mess. Anyway, I'm not sitting here saying we should all learn Haskell either. Then again, you know, we did not help ourselves because our documentation was, I'm not going to say it was shitty. It was just south of decent. So we didn't help ourselves in that way either. So if you're not a dev, but you work in and around, you know, in that space, supporting programs, kind of like I did, working for a service company, you know, throw down on some documentation, man. Help the devs out. Don't throw it all on them. Okay, so as I step down from my soapbox, okay. Implicitly unwrapped optionals are like regular optional types with one important difference. You do not need to unwrap them. You do not need to unwrap them. How is that the case? It has to do with how you declare them. Take a look at the code below, which refactors the examples above to work with an implicitly unwrapped optional. Okay. Var. Oh, maybe it doesn't want me to, just wants me to look at it. Literally just look at it. Okay, looks like an optional shorthand declaration, except instead of a question mark, it's an exclamation point. So what's happening? Here, the optional is declared with exclamation point, which signifies that it is an implicitly unwrapped optional. Implicitly unwrapped optional. Just save that bad boy right there. Okay. Actually, let me put the code in there. The conditional is removed because using an implicitly unwrapped optional signifies a great deal more confidence than its more humble counterpart. The conditional is removed because using an implicitly unwrapped optional signifies a great deal more confidence than its more humble counterpart. I don't know. Okay. I believe them. Although I kind of like seeing the logic. I wouldn't say, I don't know. My preference, I don't want something implicit if it can be. I mean, if it was like 4 times as long, I could understand, but you know, it was like one line of code and I could see specifically what was happening. I don't know about that, but okay, I'm going to take your word for it. Indeed, much of the power and flexibility associated with the implicitly unwrapped optional is related to the idea that you do not need to unwrap it to access its value. But note that this power and flexibility comes with some danger. Accessing the value of an implicitly unwrapped optional will result in a runtime error if it does not have a value. Okay. That sounds important. Why don't we just oops, put this whole, that whole thing in there. Okay. Indeed. Where were we? Okay. It will result in a runtime error if it does not have value. For this reason, we suggest that you do not use an implicitly unwrapped optional if you believe that the instance has any chance of becoming nil. Okay. Okay. Indeed, implicitly unwrapped optionals are so unsafe that Swift will attempt to give you regular optionals if you are not specific about wanting an implicitly unwrapped optional. Let's revisit the example above to see this in action. Suppose you set error code string to be nil. What would happen if you declared a constant named another error code string with type string and tried to assign it to the contents or lack thereof of error code string? If you were to assign error code string to another instance, what type do you think Swift would infer for that new instance if you were not explicit about the type? Okay, they give us this example, so we'll do this. Barcode, error code string. I gotta do it up here. Okay, A. So now, oh wait, now it's a implicitly unwrapped optional. And it equals nil. Okay. Oh. Instinct, just goddamn space key. It's of type string, error code string. What is this? Yet another error code string is equal to that again. Okay. Optional, implicitly unwrapped. So those are those what? So they are different types. Those are two different types. Error. What's the error? Fatal error. Unexpectedly found nil while implicitly unwrapping an optional value. That's a nice error message. Wow. I mean, it tells you exactly what's wrong, so that's cool. Cool to me. For the if error code string is nil, assigning that value to another error code string, which is of type string, here, will not work. Yep. Which type string results in a runtime error. Why? Because another error code string cannot be optional due to its explicitly declared type, which is here. Okay. As for the second question, Swift will infer the safest thing possible, a regular optional. Yet another error code string would be a string whose value is nil. You would have to unwrap the optional to access its value. You would have to access. This feature makes type inference safe by default, and therefore increases the safety of all your code. Okay, maybe I missed what the second question was then. If you were to assign error code string to another instance, the yet another, what type do you think Swift would infer for that new instance if you were not explicit about the type? Oh, I see. And then here it's saying Swift will infer the safest thing possible, a regular optional. So that's the answer. Oh, okay, yeah. it always thinks it takes a hot minute. I got a thick skull. So this, what he's saying, because this stemmed from them saying Swift will try to encourage, aka punk your ass into not using implicitly unwrapped. And so even though we implicitly unwrap here, because we give it no choice, we tell it must by declaring it as such. Here, we don't give it an explicit type. We're just assigning it to the value that's here. And what they're saying is that by doing so, when it gets to line 5 and infers that type, it's going to make yet another error code string optional type string, not implicitly unwrapped. Hot dog. Okay, so that makes sense to me. Would be strings. If you want yet another error code string to be implicitly unwrapped optional, then the compiler requires you to be explicit. So I'd have to go and do that same thing. Ha! Well, I can't beat nil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what we got. That's what we got. So using implicitly unwrapped optionals is best limited to somewhat special cases. As we indicated, the primary case concerns class initialization. As we indicated, the primary case concerns class initialization, which we will discuss in detail in chapter 17. This shit's gonna get hard, I can just tell. For now, you know enough of the basics of implicitly unwrapped optionals to understand what is going on if you find them in the wild. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna take a quick break. All right. Quick break. And go, oops. I'm gonna go get some Dr. Pepper. Not at like the store or nothing. I'll be right back. BRB quick break. Still on mic. Oops. And you can either accept it or reject it. It's up to you. Live your own life. Goddamn, what you want me to do? Okay, so what do I want to snack on? Boy, Nutri-Grain bars are like manna from heaven. Give me that, boy. Followed closely by Nature Valley crunchy oats and honey. I feel like this music's kind of giving me porno vibes. Not that I would know what is porn. Oh man, that's good. Yeah, where my ring at? Yeah. Oh, dead ass tree. But yeah, just gotta stretch my legs. You know, maybe I'll do a set. I'm gonna do a set of squats. You already know this was a fitness channel too. Oh yeah, we learned Swift and workout. Oh yeah. So get up off your ass. Get up off your fat ass right now. I'm playing. I'm kidding. Do whatever you want. Your body. Your body, your bad choices. You got yours and I got mine. You got yours and I got mine. But yeah, You know how it go. I'll just do a quick 10. I can feel not getting sleepy, but or I guess sleepy is the only way to describe it. But this should wake me up, get my blood moving. This is good though. Yesterday was tough, boy. Nothing was really sinking in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, that guitar is going off. 6, 7, 8, and a 9, and a 9. Can I get 10? Give me 10. Huh. Whew. Okay. Oh, and I do got to pee. I'm going to mute my mic for just a second. Don't panic, all right? I'll be right back. Rasta, rasta, rasta. We're back. Dope, we're gonna run if you can't get no money. Cut up, cut up, cut up, cut up. Like I know them words. I don't know them words. Okay. Oh, my legs. Hot daddy. Hot daddy. Got body. Got a little shotty. Got a little shotty. Lot daddy. Lot daddy. Dun da 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 do. Just give me a second. Goddamn. Hold on. Shit. It's a process, baby. You just gotta be patient. Can't rush it. Experience it all the way through. Feel the code. Be the code. Know the code. Interpret the code. Compile the code. Hot daddy, hot daddy. I wonder if there's like a Swift meetup group in Dallas. Maybe I should make one. All right. Mi vi la 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 la. What's the name of that song? I always hear that song out at them. I'd be going to them Hispanic clubs, boy. And I did. And they all get out. Ding, 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 ding. Boy, my girl is a beautiful Mexican woman. Boy, she's fine. I didn't meet her at the club, but you know, women will do that to you. It's kind of what they do. They kind of distract. They kind of tend to destroy. No, I'm kidding. No. What will we do without them? We wouldn't be able to have sex. I know that. So it's already out of the question. Immediately, even if there was another way to procreate, they still ain't going, so you got to put up with them. You got to do it. Okay, so we were on the next page. Yes, we were. Optional chaining. Oh, yeah, baby. Now we're getting there. Oh, yes. Yes. Let me relax. Optional chaining. Like optional binding, optional chaining provides a mechanism for querying an optional to determine whether it contains a value. Like optional binding. Okay. One important difference between the two is that optional chaining allows the programmer to chain numerous queries into an optional value. Man, that's fancy. If each optional in the chain contains a value, then the call to each succeeds and the entire query chain will return an optional of the expected type if any optional in the query chain is nil. That's fucking incredible. So, okay, so we haven't really touched on this, but the app that we're going to be building after we learn SwiftUI, iOS programming, I'm going to build it. My business is called Nod Tech Systems. Okay, you ain't heard of me yet, but boy, are you gonna. Now, the first app I'm building is MRP Panda. MRP is it's an acronym. I worked in the ERP space for, let's just call it a decade, working with. So we resold an ERP package like Sage, SAP Business One, shit like that. We resold that, so I had to learn all that, and I used to train and travel to do all that shit. And then we also had an in-house manufacturing. Oh, I guess I should put it here. Manufacturing module that plugged into the ERP system. I can't help but do it. It plugged into the ERP, and so why was I telling you that? Oh yeah. So MRP, in that space, most of our customers were food distributors or food manufacturers, like the people that make the salsa you buy at the store and all that. They have to track all that raw material. So anything, ever since I think it was in 2008 when Obama was in office, he introduced you probably heard of it by this point, called FSMA, the Food and Safety Modernization Act. FSMA. Which, and it's pretty cool to think about, because were it not for that law, I would not be here. Because that law created this whole, like, for food manufacturers, I'm not going to say that it sucks, because food safety that's the right thing to do. I think it was the right thing to do. I would never argue against it. But what's interesting is when FSMA passed, distributors, manufacturers, producers, now they have to be able to, within a span of 4 minutes, 4 hours, sorry. I'm pretty sure it's 4 hours from the law's perspective. Within 4 hours, if there is a recall, right? If some ingredient that you create, perhaps it's something that you produce using other ingredients, who you then sell it to another manufacturer, and the thing that you use many ingredients to create, to them it's just a single ingredient in something else that also has a lot of ingredients. So when there's a recall, it's, you know, obvious, it's this incredibly destructive from a production perspective, because you have to get all that shit back. So I mean, if you're the company doing the recall, you issue the recall. As producers, you have to be able to know if your inventory, if your shit's affected, right? And so the law says that within a span of 4 hours, you have to be able to produce reporting such that you can know everywhere that a particular lot. So like when you issue a PO to a vendor, let's say you sell onions, and I need onions to make my Mexican soup. Okay, I need your onions. When I buy onions from you, I issue you, let's just say, a single purchase order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When your driver shows up at my dock with hella onions, he's like, "Hey, I'm here. Purchase order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5." When my team receives that into my inventory through my ERP system, let's say it's a whole truckload, 18 pallets. Just to make it simple, imagine each pallet, you know what a pallet is, right? Little square planks of wood that they set shit on, moving around with the forklift. People are pumping it. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's a pallet. Imagine each one of those is a unique alphanumeric number that is called a lot number. So it just represents a batch of material. It could be for anything. Lots are even used in the discrete space, meaning it's not just food. If you flip over a bunch of you'll see it on barcodes and whatnot. Like on barcodes that you see, like on shit that we buy, that the cashiers scan, that's a UPC number. That's a universal purchasing code. But it's not truly universal, because it's universal to Aldi's or Albertsons or, you know, wherever you're buying it from. It's unique globally there, right? You've probably also heard it referred to as a SKU. They're not technically the same thing, but you'll hear them used often interchangeably, and that's okay most of the time. Unless you're like me and had the misfortune of having to, you know, interact at a programmatic level with ASCII and fucking integrating certain barcode scanning, that is a pain in the ass, and then you do have to be concerned about the difference. But functionally, they're often used interchangeably. But that's what that is. So a SKU or a UPC, so that's not a lot. However, if you were to track this UPC, this came and probably tracks back to a number of different lots. Like we actually had a customer that sold water, bottled water. And so, I mean, even water in certain cases will have a requirement of lot tracing, but that was only because they added stuff, like, you know, the vitamins and shit, or what, you know, whatever. Now, all that being said, each of those specific lot numbers have the potential, if you can imagine. So I got onions, right? 18 pallets of onions. All 18 of those can go into, like, I don't know, if let's just say I'm making, I'm making Mexican soup, right? So my soup, I might make 18 separate batches. Let's just do that, make it easy. One batch for each pallet of onions. So now I've produced 18 lots, and then I send those out to the people that I sell to. So within 4 hours, you got to be able to, on both sides of the coin, who did I buy it from, and when, and how much? You have to be able to account for all the usage throughout your plant. So whether you threw it away or you used it, or there was a clerical error, everything should be able to be reconciled, is effectively the demand here within a time span of 4 hours. And then on the other side, you have anywhere that you shipped it to. So you also have to account for that. So all of it. They call it farm to fork. We called it cradle to grave, but that's what that means. Now, what was I getting? Oh yeah. Okay, so within that, if you take that concept and then on top of that, you stack on effectively weighing, okay, what are my sales orders? Like, how much demand do I have? How much inventory do I have on hand? So like, if I get an order for 10 of these bottles and I know that I need a napkin and a hat and glasses to make it, I got to go and check how many I have of each of those components, and then I can do the math and say, okay, yeah, I can fulfill an order for 10 by X date, because maybe I have some coming inbound, but they're not here yet. All of that together, effectively, that is the acronym MRP, Material Resource Planning. Cast a pretty broad net. So when people say that, normally they're talking more so about getting things like, just-in-time inventory. That's more often than not, that's what they're talking about. However, technically speaking, MRP, if you're looking at it from a auditor's perspective, if you have an MRP plan, not everybody does. Most like mom and pops aren't going to have that, but larger places will. That would be part of your material resource planning, is how you handle recalls. So anyway, our software did that, and we would build this data cube, and I got to work on a lot of cool shit in SQL and really push SQL to the limit, because a lot of that we probably should have done just in a programming language, but back then I was just writing SQL, so I was like, fuck it, I'll do it in SQL. SQL and PowerShell. Okay, but my point is that what's really neat about this, coming full circle now to optional chaining, this is really neat because that means you can effectively take like one big blob of an input from the user, because if you've never, lucky you, if you've never been the poor soul that has to get data from users, so basically like they send you spreadsheets and then you have to load it somewhere, you wouldn't know this, but users, end users, you and me, end users, we're the worst when it comes to cleaning data, because we go through this whole dog and pony show when a new project kicks off. Guys, please, for the love of God, clean your data. We even give them, we would give them these templated sheets with enums, so you can only have but so many different options to try to limit how fucked up the data can be. And still, people, every single time, I did over like, I don't know, easily over 100 implementations. These are like 6 months to a year long projects, and every single fucking time, dookie ass data. Not every time, but a lot, way more than you would think. Way more than you would think, especially if you're working on a project where a company just spent, $500,000 to $1 million to upgrade their system. It doesn't matter. It's not about criticizing. I'm just saying it happens a lot. And so this is great because this gives you a mechanism programmatically to say, okay, whatever, regardless of what I get, you can check for the presence of certain things. And if those things are there, at least if I know those things are there, then I can strip out the rest, let it through, and then maybe parse it out and do something with it. Because that's what MRP Panda is going to do. A lot of that, because we're just going to operate in the cloud, have a really cool, formal, academia-driven, meaning like all the studies and all of the energy and engineering efforts that have gone into researching solutions to things like MRP. In specific domains, but there's a lot of really cool research and application of different procedures and whatnot out there. I want to bring that all under one application, make it more of a menu system. So give the user as much flexibility as possible, not try to somehow understand the user's domain better than they do, because it's not possible, because they're in it every day. So instead, what those 10 years taught me is we need to get out of the way. Like, we being the developer, the focus should be to get out of the way and empower with tooling and options and interface, as opposed to trying to prescribe and then create a program that is based off the prescription that we deem is best for a particular domain. Because then we have to go out there and sell this idea and sell people on effectively changing their mind. Because it's rare that a service company's perspective on what the end user needs is going to align exactly with what Mr. Joe Rogers that owns mom and pop shop believes he needs. They're going to be different. And so there's all this compromise that takes place and all of this sales speak that's really, it's not transparent. It's not honest. It's just not. Like, you can call it what you want, but almost always there is, in these projects that I was a part of, whenever you're adopting an ERP system, almost always it's the owners, the people, the powers that be, they need to do it for some kind of fiscally driven reason. They don't, people in the food industry don't just spend money willy-nilly. They're not spending like that. They're notoriously cheap. So they're doing it because they have to. And when you're doing something only because you have to, you're not going to get a lot of buy-in. And so if you're already not getting a lot of buy-in and you're trying to train these people and that's your job to make sure they learn it and they don't want to give a shit about it, that's a difficult environment. And so stacking on top of that a very rigid, pre-prescribed system, oh man, some of those would get ugly, brother. Oh, buddy. No, seriously though, I've had some incredibly uncomfortable moments, but I always kept it a buck. I just like, hey, I'm here to teach, and I'm gonna quiz you. I made little quizzes. I wasn't fucking around. I don't like people to waste my time. I'll put effort into teaching somebody if they're willing to learn it, but the second that it blew up in my face when I wasn't holding people accountable, ever since then, I said, hey, boss, say no more. Say less every time I go, and no matter where I go. There's going to be a quiz. You're going to fill something out, and guess what, motherfucker? You're going to sign it. You're going to say, hey, I'm letting Nico leave. I learned this shit. I understand it. He did his job. Otherwise, call the moneymaker. Tell him you need me here another week, and I'll extend it out. I'll stay another week. But you have to learn this shit. You're not gonna stick it on me again. Anyway, I would encourage anybody that's ever in those situations to always do that. Just do that by default. It's not rude. It's appreciated by your uppers, and it shows initiative. There's nothing bad about doing something like that, and you always just want to cover your ass in that way. I don't think it's overkill. But anyway, that's a tangent. So yeah, so that's why this would be cool. That's my real world use case there. Now, let's begin with a concise example. Let's do that. All right. Imagine that your app has a custom error code. If you encounter a 404, you want to use your custom error code instead, as well as an error description you will display to the user. Add the following to your playground. Okay, I lied. Another quick tangent. We had, the company that I was working for previously, they were doing this. Please don't redefine standard error messages. Like some other department, they wrote some Lambda functions that were returning standard HTTP codes like one would expect, but they were manipulating what drove you getting those codes. They changed the standard. I'm like, don't do that. Standards are standards for a reason. That is the dumbest thing that you could possibly do. If you want to cast that value or alias it or something, but don't create core logic and then try to recreate HTTP rules and all that. Like, don't. Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway, otherwise you'll get salty people like me coming around whenever we have to come rewrite it and deal with all your bullshit. But yeah, don't do that. What are you thinking? You think you do the internet better than the internet? Motherfucker. Okay, so let's begin with a concise example. Yeah. Okay. Barcode, error string. So we want to keep this, but it's not nil anymore. String. Oh, now it's a regular optional. Get rid of the print, the error. error code string. Wait, where's my? Oh, that's gone. Oops. Var error description. Scriptoin shun. Optional string. If let the error code string, let error code int convert error code go to 404, and that goes in the body here. So what is this? Error description equals escape character, string interpolation, error code int plus 200 resource not found. Resource not found. Oh, I see. Huh. Well, aren't you clever? Isn't that clever? Var upcase error description equal. Why is it on? Does that matter? I don't think that matters. Error description. Or, wait, error description or okay. I'm trying to remember that they do such a good job explaining, so I'm trying to refrain from jumping straight in and trying to explain it myself. Add the following to your playground. Okay, we did that. Okay, you add a new var named error description. You add a new var named. Yeah. Inside the if let success block. Okay, this is confusing me. Okay, I had it looking weird. So okay. I just had to read through it one time. All right. You add a new var named error description. Inside the if let success block, here, you create a new interpolated string. You increase 404 to your custom code error value of 604 using that expression. This is arbitrary and theoretically unique to your app. Last, you add some more informative text about the error, resource not found. Next, you use optional chaining. Okay, that's syntactically the representation of optional chaining. Okay, haha. Totally forgot where we were, but that makes sense now. Thank you. We're inside. Oh yeah, when you create an interpolated string, you increase 404. Oh no, we read that. Next, you use optional chaining to create a new instance of the error description in all uppercase text. Right. Aquí. This instance is called uppercase error description. The question mark appended to the end of error description signals that the line of code initiates the optional chaining process. All right, let me highlight that whole thing. Actually, I need it to here. God damn it. Okay. If there is no value in error description, then there is no string to make uppercase. In that case, uppercase error description will be set to nil. Remember, optional chaining returns an optional. Optional chaining returns an option. Optional chaining returns an option. Optional. No, I'm kidding. Give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna go off camera real quick. And then we'll be right back. Well, I'll be on the mic, so don't worry. So how y'all been doing? Good? That's good. Everybody good at home? Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I hate small talk. That is one of the worst things in the world. How you been? Your voice gets all high. I'm good. Shut up. You don't give a shit about me, and I barely care about you. So why don't we just sit here? No, that sounds really, it's not that big a deal. I'm glad there are people that enjoy small talk, because really and truly us introverts, you know, I'm not going to say we always appreciate it, but we do appreciate people and need people that initiate conversation. We like people with high energy, and they just have that kind of love for life, and they're, you know, not necessarily social butterflies. You don't have to be a social butterfly, but, you know, people that are, they're just initiators. They bring good energy. They're positive. They want to interact with people. They care about people, you know? Whereas, I mean, this is a broad scope. I understand that, but I'm just talking. But, you know, introverts, I think if we're doing it right, we are thinkers. We're creatives. We like to sit and solve problems at a deeper level. And that takes time and focus. And so we don't have that inclination to spend quality time with people. We feel purpose and we feel a calling to solve deep problems. It doesn't mean that we love any less, but we don't love as much. And people take that in a negative way, and they shouldn't. People are just built different. But when you find, I mean, this is not a woe is me thing, but I'm just saying, I feel like that's often misunderstood, because it's easy to interpret somebody that is bubbly and nice and talkative, and, you know, they'll find you in a room, they don't know you, and they'll shake your hand. It's obvious and easy to see that that kind of having charisma like that is going to equate to being well liked, especially if you're a genuine person. I'm not saying those people are fake by any stretch. Absolutely not. My girl is like that, and that's what I love about her. So full of life. And she loves deeply. She cares about people, and that's, I don't want to say easy, but that's who she is, and she's not afraid to be herself. So yeah, I mean, there's people absolutely naturally that way. But the opposite is true, and, you know, once people understand that, you can strike a balance, and then especially within the confines of a relationship, if you can find that somebody to offset you, it's wonderful. It's fantastic. The hard part is all the suffering you got to do before you find them. Boy, did I suffer! Don't let me twist you up, man. Man, I went through some horrors. To be fair, plenty of those were self-inflicted. I was not perfect. I was out there bullshitting too. Not saying that. But I'm not saying nothing new. All of you know. A big part of it too is timing. You got to hope that when you meet, because I personally do not believe in soulmates, but I do believe that there is still a very select few number of people in this world, just by the statistics of it. Like, I do, well, and it's been proven out anecdotally, like it takes time to find that right person. If you found them early on, then you're blessed. Great, that's awesome. But I'm just saying, generally speaking, you have to date quite a bit, or be very, very patient and be very selective about. Well, actually, no, I say that. I'm trying to be nice. I shouldn't do that. I think you do just have to date a lot. I think you have to date. That doesn't mean you have to fuck around. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying you gotta spread them for everybody, or guys, you ain't gotta fuck every bitch you go on a date with. I made this mistake. You should not do that. It is nothing to be proud of. It is not a good thing to have a high body count, and I wish that would stop being. I wish that whole concept would just go away. Like, it's not even about right or wrong. It's fucking stupid. I kind of see it, but it's still there. I don't know. It's still way too celebrated. But they don't tell you about the cost. And I'm not talking about STDs. Obviously, that's something to be aware of, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the soul tax. That's what I call it. I'm not super religious, man, but either way, you get what I'm saying. Everyone understands the concept of just kind of losing yourself a bit. And boy, if you go out there and you're fucking around and you're fucking and fucking and fucking, and all you want to do is fuck, you better believe that's going to change, motherfucker. And you're not even going to see it. And that's the worst part. And so you'll start to become something that you never wanted to be. Anyway, where were we at? So, because error description does have a value in it, you made the description uppercase. Okay, so we got that result. That makes sense. Optional chaining returns an optional type. That was the takeaway. I need my binder thingy. Where did I'm gonna forget, and I guarantee you, fucking bronze challenge. It's gonna be no, but really, those. Although I am highlighting them, I would rather have this. Yeah, if not, nope. Something. Was it question mark dot? Yeah. And that is optional. My short. I have a goldfish memory. What was it called? Optional chaining. Cheating, yeah. Okay. Optional. Is it weird? I'm getting kind of like a tech boner right now. This, I am having a good old time, and you wouldn't know it looking at me, but I'm excited. Okay, so this here. Okay. Modifying an optional in place. You can also modify an optional in place. So that you do not have to create a new variable or constant. Add a call to the append wildcard colon. Append wildcard colon. Method. So that you grab my constant. Add a call to the append method on uppercase error description. Okay. here. Oh, below it, uppercase. My bad. What are they looking at? Optional chain, question mark dot, optional chain, append. Oh, I'll say this real quick because I always wondered when I would watch videos, I'm like, where are these commands coming from? Like, what are these? You know, because you watch people and you're like, oh shit, I could do that. And you just watch the autocomplete and you're like, oh, you got to know what it all seems, and it is fluid if you just got to spend a little time with it. But I never understood. I'm like, where are all those options coming from after they hit dot, and like, why do they show up? Like, why does append, why is it okay to write it there, But that was when I really didn't understand. So if you hold option and click on it, Xcode to give you this nice little dilly, and this will take you to the Apple Docs, which is awesome. I love that. Well, if it'll open. Why can I have nice things? This is a brand new, like I told you guys before. No, it's not even opening at all. Why? Whatever, fuck it. I'm just saying. We understand now that these are like subtypes, or they belong to a module. Like we know now where these come from. And if you don't know, we're going to cover it anyway. So don't be concerned. But I was trying to go down memory lane and talk about something that I now had an understanding of, but we will save that because the docs aren't opening for some reason, and I don't care to troubleshoot it. So uppercase dot append, please try again. And please try again. You ever play Saints Row? Try again, player. When you bitch slapping people. Man, that was a good game. Uppercase description. Okay, Command Shift Enter. 604 resource not found. Ooh, get out of here. Okay. The sidebar result does not fit on the page, but it reads 604 resource not found. Please try again. Oh, why is it so hard to grab that fucking line? Okay, it did. I just want to make sure it was there. Modifying an optional in place can be extremely helpful. That is helpful. So I also want to write that one down because... Wait, but... Oh, okay. So you call them in the same way, but append... I guess they're both doing it, because when you uppercase it, you are changing it in place. I just didn't think of it that way because we weren't necessarily adding additional characters, just the representation of the same characters, but you're still changing the original object. Okay. Now, modify an optional. In this case, all you want to do is update a string inside an optional. Inside an optional. You do not need anything returned. If there is a value inside the optional, then you want to add some text to the string. If there is no value, then you do not want to do anything. Okay, so that's what this is saying. So let me make sure I see that. Uppercase error. Optional chaining. But oh, right, okay. See, that's the Go mentality. I just keep looking for the nil check, and because they keep talking about nil, but it's implicit because we already got the type annotation up here, and it's a type string, and if it's nil, it's not a string, and so it's not gonna. Okay, so we're getting there. Did you want to? This is exactly what modifying an optional in place does. At the end of the uppercase error description works similarly to optional chaining. It exposes the value of the optional if it exists. Okay, so I guess I'm just thinking, all right, I need to keep these concepts separate because even though they're called the same way, it's not the same thing. This is modifying in place, but it referred to the uppercasing as chaining. But that stands in opposition to the soliloquy I just gave. So now I want to understand if I understand. You add a new var named error description inside the if let. Well, you already know, so let's go. And given the below Swift code, please explain the difference. Or no, that's not what I want to understand. I understand the difference because they told us, but please explain the or I guess I wanted to check my understanding again. So if R, okay, I got it. Are uppercase and append changing the original object. That's really what I want to understand, because they might just be giving you two different terms because, like, I don't know, in the docs or in the libraries, they're split out like logically, but they are doing the same thing in memory. I don't know. I just want to understand it. Okay, it doesn't. Okay. And then there you go. So uppercase, this method, okay, so they're called methods. This method does not modify. This method does not modify the original string. Instead, it returns a new string where all the characters in the original string are converted to uppercase. Therefore, error description remains unchanged, and uppercase error description gets assigned a new string. Okay. All right. So that is not in place. Not at all. Not related at all. But called the same way. So there's like a, you know, you won't always have a specific syntax, I guess, is the thing that I'm trying to get at. More so telling myself, like, you're not always going to have a different way syntactically to express something. There will be some commingling of different concepts within the same kind of declarative syntax, meaning the question mark dot. Like, these are both methods, but they do very different things. And you would have to understand that. Okay. All right. So, and then this one is in fact changed it. Is indeed a variable since it's defined with var, which allows append to modify directly. Yeah. Thus the please. So uppercase returns a new modified string, while append modifies the string object it is called on if that string is a variable in your code. Okay. Telling you as a teacher and summarizer of ideas and concepts, and as an explainer, best $20 you can spend. Now, if you get it to try and write your application, oh boy, you're gonna be in for some shit. It can't write you an app. Sorry. If you manage to write an application with just AI, oh, can't even imagine. No, it's no shade. I mean, it's a great tool, but you can't lean on it. Like that whole Devin shit was a complete scam. That already got exposed. You can't, and no one actually wants to do that. At this point, it's just circle jerk marketing. No one actually wants to hand over deployment strategies, CI/CD to an AI. You would have to pay developers even more money to understand such a complex system to automate. And now you make it even more difficult because now you need developers that understand LLMs, and you want to normalize that along with the cost of constantly running that. Shut the fuck up. That shit's so stupid. And that is why anyone that you hear saying AI is going to take your developer job, just tell them shut the fuck up, because they don't know what they're talking about. Just okay. If there is no value in oh no, we did that. And then we hop to here. Did we see this? Please try. Yeah. We were in the middle here. Modifying an optional can be extremely helpful. In this case, all you want to do is update a string inside an optional. You do not need anything returned. If there is a value inside the optional, then you want to add text to the string. If there is no value, you want to do nothing. Do nothing. This is exactly what modifying an optional in place does. The chaining operator, or the question mark at the end of uppercase error description, works similarly to optional chaining. It exposes the value of the optional if it exists. If uppercase error description were nil, then the optional would not have been modified because no value would exist to update. It is worth mentioning that you can also use the exclamation, which was the implicit unwrap operator in the code above. Okay. This operation would forcibly unwrap the optional. Forcibly. I'm getting these mixed up. I'm thinking of the implicit. I thought that's what, hold on, let me go back to. Yeah, this is, implicitly unwrap, exclamation point. What are you on, dude? What are you saying? What? Am I reading this wrong? Where did that note go? Modify. Oh, here. It is worth mentioning that you can also use the code above. I guess it just means something different in that context. That's so implicit unwrap is when we're declaring the type. They're talking about it here, and that's the difference on the method call. Okay. Pop. Okay, yeah, I get it. Okay, now let's read what it's doing. I'm a little OCD. I need to know what the fuck before I get in there. Yeah, girl, I did it. Right when, yeah. 22. No. Sorry, I was reading. So I've been going crazy on this language kick. We're gonna finish this because I'm having fun with Swift, but I'm just quick aside. The V program, V as in V, really has my eye. Boy, does it have my eye. I would love to learn that next because, well, I mean, it's really similar to Go from a syntax perspective, but more ergonomic, which is nice, and it already has. I'm telling you guys this because it's applicable if you want to write, apps for Apple's platforms. To my knowledge, Odin and V. There's probably others. I would be like shocked if there's not one for C++ and Rust. But what's nice about those two languages, Odin and V, they already have like built into the language a lot of niceties around like what do you call them? Scientific notation and array math, shit like that. Why is that important? Well, if you want to write GUIs, that makes it really simple to do a lot of the vector stuff. So I mean, a lot of these newer languages have some really cool, like, just inbuilt thing. Anyway, V to me seems like V seems like it. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it seems perfect to me. I say perfect. Obviously, it's not quite there yet, but you can already, like, it's running Doom. You can convert using their compiler. You can convert C code, existing C projects, to V, and they did that with fucking Doom. What? So they have Doom running in V. That's sick. Anyway, I only say that to say that it's bona fide. It's legit. I bought the book and I'm learning it, and I'll probably do a course on that one too. But yeah, what's really neat about those though is like Odin and V, like I said, they have a full integration with the Metals API, which is Metals is Apple's latest framework, their GUI framework. So kind of like if you ever heard of Raylib or OpenGL, DirectX. So anything on Apple's platform, you could use that Metals API to write GUIs, and you could use V or Odin, or Swift to write those. But yeah, I really like that. I really like the idea of that. So I want that to be like my backend language, and then of course Swift for Apple specific stuff and front ends. Feel me? Okay. Anyway, now let's get back to it. Modifying in place. It is worth mentioning. Okay, we saw that. Oh, we'll just start here. It is worth mentioning that you can also use the exclamation mark operator in the code above. What is it called? This operation would forcibly unwrap. I'll just call it the unwrap. This operation would forcibly unwrap the optional, which can be dangerous, as you have learned, right? Because if we unwrap and there ain't nothing in there, then we crash. It's a runtime error. Stop that. If uppercase error description were nil, then uppercase error description forcible unwrap method call append, please try again, would lead to a runtime crash. Yep, because you can't append a string to nothing. As we said earlier, it is best to use question mark, or God damn it, what do they call that? It is best to use optional chaining. I'm trying to remember to read the code in English so I can remember. I'm so bad at I lose my fucking dyslexia, as we said, or yeah. As we said earlier, it is best to use optional chaining most of the time. The forcible unwrap should be used only when you know that the optional will not be nil, or that the only reasonable action to take if the optional is nil is to crash. Wait, what was that error? You cannot force unwrap. Value. Error description is equal to, oh, if let, or error code string. Oh, okay. It's not an optional, it's a string. Okay, then, I guess they meant just on that one there. To observe how nil propagates through your program, comment out the assignment 404. Try to understand each change that you see in the sidebar in the context of what you have learned so far. Which other values became nil and why? Error code string. Comment this out. Well, case error description equals it's saying that I can use this, but that's not what I mean, they have it right there in the book, right there. On error description, I thought maybe if it was on the one above, but it's not. It's on the line with please try again. So when I try to do that, I get a compile error, but maybe it's because I have this up here and that's not how it is. No. Oh, but now I get no compiler error? What the fuck? Piece of shit. Now it gets hung up like that. I guess try everything twice. I don't know. I wish that wouldn't happen, but nothing's perfect, I suppose. Okay, so that's, let me just erase that real quick from my brain. Okay, that's not a problem. All right. So, Okay, yeah. So now the exercise. So it wants me to comment this out, run it, and then explain to you guys why things are the way they are. Right? I wish that was stop being a thing in apps. Like you touch it once and like all this shit pops up. What? Relax. Like god damn. Uh, Back in my day, you had to right click and then you get a whole bunch of shit. Now you right click and you don't get shit. You kids. To observe how nil propagates through your program, comment out the assignment of error code string equal 44. Oh, not here. Error code. Where is that though? Where do I have that? Error code string. Oh, so I have not had, hopefully, I guess at some point. Consecutive one. Man, where the fuck? When did they add that? I don't see that in the. Damn it! Hold on. I janked something up somewhere. That's correct, or that's what they have. Okay, var error code, yeah, option type, a string or optional string, error code string equals 404. Yes, var error description, optional string, if let the error equal error code string, got that, let error code int, convert it to an int, comma, return error code int equals 404. We'll come back right to the, I'm curious, what do you call that? What's the term for just what's between the squigglies? You know? How can I, what do I think about that as, or refer to that as? If, or what term would accurately describe the contents between the squiggle? Oh, just a code block? So I wonder if that's an implicit return. Like, how do you know? How are you supposed to know what's coming back, or can you change what's coming back from the expression? I mean, I know you can change it, but let me just ask. Like when you see, like anywhere that you see some kind of expression and then squiggles, is that always like what is the relationship, I guess, from 404 or whatever would be in 404's place to the code block? Is it always based on, you know, whether or not it evaluates to true and that drives its execution and that's it? Or is there more to it? So anytime in, well, anywhere I see a particular, I don't even know if you would call it that. I see. Oh no, I got a better question. Okay. Is this true of any scenario where is this true of any scenario where I would see this pattern? Yeah. i.e. a value some code that runs if it evaluates to true. Is that what? Is this true of any? And does not run, should be explicit. The pattern you describe generally aligns with the concept of a code block, but the exact behavior depends on the context in which the braces are used in Swift and other. In many programming contexts, including Swift, curly braces are used to define the scope of code. Here's a fair well, okay, no, closures are self-contained blocks of functionality that can be passed around and used in your code. Oh, well, that's not really what I meant, but that's neat. I mean, that's good to know. But that's just a variable. Oh, but you can nest and express. Okay, I see. Okay, but that's still not my question, but I bet you it'll get it this time because I'll actually ask it the right way, which is, what is it? Oh yeah, okay. What I want to know is the relationship between the value preceding that code block. That's really what I want to understand. So I asked the wrong question. I would like to understand is, what I would like to understand is, actually, I want to throw it off by saying that, because then it might go down some whole other deep learning path, some nerd design. No, I'm kidding. No, but it really will do that. So you don't necessarily want to say that. So what I would like to understand is the relationship that the code block would have to, in this case, the value 404. Said another way, is there a constant behavior I can expect in Swift when I see a value? And then a code block. It kind of already answered that, but I think it'll get my other question if I... Yeah, see, I can see why. Like when you read stuff like this, I can totally see why people would assign it the attribute mistakenly. But I can see why you would think, oh, that thing is intelligent. It's not intelligent, but it's very impressive technology for its use case. Whoa, that's cool. What? We're skipping ahead now. ChatGPT over here giving out the college education. No, but okay, so let's read through this. In Swift and in programming more broadly, the pattern of associating a value directly preceding a code block enclosed by squiggles is not universally meaningful, and that makes sense, without additional context, such as control statement. Okay, so I just need to remember to expand that understanding to the beginning of the statement, which sounds incredibly obvious now that I'm saying it out loud. Okay. Or a function definition. Ooh, but I do want to ask it about that too. But okay, so let's explore a few scenarios. Let's do number 1, control structures. If switch, if a condition code runs. Okay. This is really helping me. Holy shit. Okay. Switch statement, switch a value. Case fo, case a value. Switch a value when it's case 404, runs if it's 404. Then break. If it is not 404, it would run the default. Yeah. Okay, and then a function. Func example function. Function body. This is cool, but I will abstain because I know we'll get there eventually, so I'm not gonna go there. But I do want to ask it about this. This is a bit unrelated, but I'm just curious. Actually, I don't want to quote that. I just want to grab it here. Can you explain what that is? Wait, that's a terrible way to ask it. Not sure what I. Hold on. Okay, I got. Yeah, that didn't happen. All right. Can you explain what? Can you explain in Swift terms how to interpret code when a function is written like the below, but there is a value between. I'm pretty sure it's giving the return a type, otherwise it'll error, but we will see. I don't know that. Below, where there is a value between the, this is arguments, and the scope or function body. Oh, okay. What you mean? It's right there. You just fucking wrote. Okay, so clearly I didn't ask the question the right way, but that's what I meant. But that is the return type. Okay, I answered my own question. That's. You shouldn't see that in proper Swift syntax, and then it writes it. You see what I mean? Like, you can imagine. Listen to my human questions. I know they may not be perfect, but they're not nonsensical. These are the interactions that you want to run your fucking bit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, people. This is taking our job. We handle being confused well enough. We don't need the fucking AI to do it, okay? Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Go ahead and clip that, Jared. Use that for the short. All right, so, okay, so function name. This identifies enclosed in parentheses. These are the inputs to the function. Why am I reading this? I know what this, okay. I know what, oh yeah. This is what, in reality, what the answer is. Return type. After the parentheses, the return type can be specified if the function returns a value. That's, okay, so that's the dilly. That's the dilly. The return type can be specified if it returns a value. Yeah. It's indicated by an arrow. I like that a lot. You're starting to see that in a lot of languages, and I don't know, I like it. It's not great to type, I'll tell you, like convenience-wise, just, you know, but who's really rattling off hella fun, you know, like, it's not that big, not that big of a deal, but aesthetically to read it, I think is fantastic, so I like it. Followed by the type of the return value. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, that's the answer. All right, so let's go on. Go on with it. Question mark appendant. Oh, right, we were supposed to, how did we get here? We were supposed to comment out and then watch nil propagate. That's what we were gonna do. And I was trying to follow along with the code that I saw, and then I did that, I think. This looks like the case. Will this run? Yeah. Okay, so we did, and then, so now, yeah, here we go. Comment out the assignment, error code string. Never mind, we're back to square one. Yeah, we never wrote that anywhere. That must be a typo. Because, I mean, that's not it's not a type. Unless, always try to get them. I always try to find a mistake in the book. Like a real fucking Karen, and they keep proving me wrong. So surely this is another case. I'm just not, I'm blind. I don't see it. Error code string, error code string. Comment out the assignment of, oh, that, wait, no, god damn it. Would that be, are they being slick? Are they talking about both? Can't be. Cannot find in scope if let. Yeah, okay. If we do this. Oh wait, it did kind of. I mean, wait, go back to. How do you redo something? You? Son of a bitch. God damn it. Okay, then okay. Nil, nil. How about we just look for the next if let error code string. Yeah, I mean, I wish. Oops. Wish I knew what they meant. Maybe it's this whole block. How about that? Run that shit. Error. But it is a nil. Process has been left at the point where it was interrupted. Use threat to return the state. Fatal error. Unexpectedly found nil while unwrapping an optional value. I guess that's what they meant, because that's what it would evaluate to. So now they're testing my comprehension as they teach us. Man, these guys are legit. Okay, so, but I don't know where that's coming from. Comment out the assignment of error code string. Type error code string equal 404. Doesn't fucking exist. This is all I see. And it ain't in the examples, but I guess this works. I mean, we get it. We see where nil is getting through. So, I mean, maybe that's the exercise. We just don't see that exact syntax, so try to understand. Okay. Uncomment the assignment before continuing. Okay. All right, the nil coalescing operator. The nil coalescing operator. What does coalescing mean? Let us first understand our language such that we can interpret the semantic meaning. You understand? Do not skip the basics. Coalescing. Chemistry and physics. No. Computer science. Here we go. Coalescing. The act of merging adjacent free blocks of memory to fill gaps caused by memory deallocation. Yeah. I was going to say, I remember a coalesce in SQL. That was always a fun one. Rather handy. Get them nulls out, baby. But the act of merging adjacent free blocks of memory to fill. Nice. Okay. So the nil sticking together of operator. A common operation when dealing with optionals. Fucking creaky ass chair. I can't even lean back. Jared, make sure you Some fucking WD-40 in this motherfucker. A common operation when dealing with optionals is to either get the value if the optional contains a value, or to use some default value if the optional is no. Actually, guys, so what are we at? We're at almost 3 hours now. I'm feeling good, but I'm going to curb it because I don't want to overdo it. And eventually, I promise before episode 20, I'll make that. I'm making a reasonable. We should always make reasonable goals. Okay, don't think about it this way. When you set goals, okay, oftentimes in life, people will they will assign you their goals for you, but you don't care about that's for them, not for you. So when you create your goals, create a fucking doable goal. Don't take pride in having a big goal. Take pride in achieving your goal. You can always make more goals and bigger goals, but don't just say like, oh, I'm gonna make this big ass goal. I'm gonna become a CEO of fucking Apple. You know, like come on. Make them doable. And so my doable goal is that by episode 20 of this series of Learning Swift, right? By the time we stream episode 20, all of the episodes leading up to 20, inclusive of, so episodes 1 through 20, I will have chopped up, like meaning edited out all my bullshit that's not specific to Swift, you know, going to the bathroom, singing, teaching y'all awesome shit that doesn't pertain to Swift. I would chop all that out, and that'll be up on YouTube, okay? And in saying that, I want to keep these, you know, decently sized. So I think 3 hours, getting up to 3 hours, that's probably, actually, I know it's a stretch because we learned a lot about retention, psychology, you know, as far as learning goes, because like I told you, you know, working in that space for 10 years and traveling and going on site, teaching people these rather broad concepts that they've never been exposed to, you learn quickly that people can only, you know, you can only commit but so much in a meaningful way day to day for a certain amount of time. So with that, we're going to stop for today. I want y'all to reflect on this, okay? Reflect on the things that you learned today. And we will be back tomorrow, episode 9. As always, thank you for watching. Drop a sub, drop a like, drop the mic, ride your bike. And tonight also is day 30 of my Halo Infinite stream. I'm doing 100 days of Halo ranked. I'm getting there, y'all. Last night was good, man. I know I didn't have good news to report yesterday, but boy, last night was good. So if you enjoy video games and all that jazz, if you want to see me play video games, or if you just want to see me more, you can watch my stream. It's called, or this is my YouTube channel, Nico X Gameplays. So that's where I stream on YouTube. Or you can just, if you're watching on X, I stream it on X, so it's the same account on X. And it's X, not Twitter. Stop fucking calling it Twitter. It's X. You're delusional if you call it Twitter. It's not called Twitter. That's how it works. It was Twitter. Now it's X. Don't be that person. Sensitive little ninny. Just call things what they are. If you want to be a programmer, you call things what they are. You don't call things what you would like for them to be perceived as. That's delusion. We write Swift and we live in reality. Okay? Love you guys. See you tonight. Peace out. Scout. Don't get caught in a drought. Peace out, little scout. Hitting him on the bit about. Oh wait, I got sign me out. Sign me out, Scotty. Play me out, Scotty. Good night, everybody.